right? Let's go for our next concept. So that is how you formulate the equations and get the solutions. Now this concept is very, very important. Please understand. Now when you talk about solutions of linear equations, just a second. When you talk about solutions of linear equations, has been categorized into two types. Actually, this is a higher level concept. This particular concept, you learn this in your 11th standard, 11th and 12th standard. But here, anyway, we are discussing about solutions of linear equations, just to give you, a little bit of understanding here. When you talk about solutions of linear equations, solution of linear equations has been categorized into two types. One is called consistent system of linear consistent, and the other one is called inconsistent. One is called consistent system of linear equations. The other one is called inconsistent system of linear equation. It's called consistent. Is that? And the other one is called inconsistent. So remember this, the solution of linear equations has been categorized into two types. One is called consistent, other one is called inconsistent. What do you mean by consistent? System of linear equations having solutions. If system of linear equations have solutions, they are called consistent system of linear equations, and those doesn't have any solution, means no solution, those system of linear equations are called inconsistent. So two things you need to understand here. When you talk about your solution of linear equations, the solutions of linear equations has been categorized into two types. One is called consistent. What do you mean by consistent? System of linear equations having solutions. Is that? And the system of linear equations having no solutions are called inconsistent. Now, just now we discussed, we'll come back to this. Just now we discussed that the generalized form of your linear equation in two variables is of the form ax plus by plus c equals 0. So your generalized form of your linear equation in two variable is of the form ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a not equal to 0 and b not equal to 0. Actually speaking, you know what this represents? This represents, this equation, linear equation in two variable represents equation of straight line. What does this represent? It represents a straight line. It represents a straight line. So here, when you go to the higher classes, when you go to your 10th standard, there you'll understand your linear equation in two variables x and y actually represents what exactly it represents. It represents a straight line. So here, when it represents a straight line. Now, when you talk about the solutions, how you can relate the solution of these linear equations with the straight line? Let me give you an example to understand. Here, take this example, 2x plus 3. Okay, just a second. Now, to find the solution of linear equation, you need two equations. Something like, let's take a1x plus b1y plus c1 equals 0 and a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals 0. Let's say you take two equations in x and y. Now, when you find the solution of these two equations, means solving these two equations. Here, what do you mean by consistent and inconsistent? When the solution of linear equation becomes consistent and inconsistent. First thing what you need to understand is solutions of linear equations has been categorized into two types, that is consistent and inconsistent. Guys, here it doesn't matter whether your equation you have in two variables or equation you have in three variables. In later stage, in your next classes, you'll understand your linear equations in three variables. So it is applicable to linear equations in three variables also. But here, I'm talking about consistent and inconsistent. So how should you remember is, when you talk about solutions of linear equations, the solutions of linear equations has been categorized into two types. One is called consistent, the other one is called inconsistent. Now, how do you differentiate between them? Very simple. System of linear equations having solutions. If system of linear equations having solutions, they are called consistent. System of equations having no solutions are called inconsistent. Let me give you an idea. How will this concept will be applied at this level in 9th standard? Check this. Check this. Now, solution of pair of linear equations in two variables. Let's talk about solutions of these linear equations. Here, let us say you have been given two equations.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So there are some people that have question in the chat box, so can you please check
Okay,
that?
okay. I'll check it out. What do you mean by straight line? Okay, perfect. I'll explain. Check this.
Sir, a straight line means that when we plot it on a graph, sir, it will form a straight line.
Yes. What is a straight line? I'll explain. Let's take this is your x and this is your y axis. I'm sure everyone have an idea. This is your x and this is your y axis and this is your origin. In this x and y axis, we know that consider 2 points, point A and point B. Let us consider 2 points. Now, if we join this, the join of any 2 points in this plane, what is the plane is? The plane is called your x and y plane. This is called coordinate plane. In this coordinate plane, you have x and y axis. Consider 2 points A and B. Now, when you join these 2 points A and B, it will form a straight line. Now, how the straight line equation looks like? Now, when you talk about straight line, now this is what is called your graphical representation. Oh, this is how you graphically represent. Now, how will you mathematically represent it? Here, that's what I've explained. Here, mathematically, a straight line equation looks something like this. Ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Now, what is this linear equation in two variables x and y actually represents? The linear equation in two variables in x and y actually represents a straight line. Now, when you ask me what is a straight line is, obviously, it's a join of 2 points. Simple. We'll go to the extension part of it in the later stage. At this point of time, you have asked me what is a straight line is. What is a straight line? Very simple. The straight line is nothing but it's a join of 2 points. Consider 2 points, A and B in this coordinate plane of x and y. Now, the join of these 2 points A and B forms a straight line. Now, this is how you can represent graphically, in this coordinate plane. Now, when you talk about how will you represent mathematically, now this is how you represent. This is how you represent. That is, your ax plus by plus c equals 0. Actually speaking, your linear equation in two variables x and y represents a straight line. Now, what is a straight line? It's a join of 2 points A and B. Let's say it's a join of 2 points A and B. Now, let's come back to our concept. So why I'm discussing this is, here, by understanding, linear equation in two variables x and y actually represents straight line, you'll have a better understanding of solutions of linear equations, the types of solutions of linear equations. That's the reason why I'm discussing straight lines here, right? So check this slide. Here, check this. Now, when you talk about the solutions of linear equations, come back to it. Right, check this. The solutions of linear equations. Here, when you talk about solutions of linear equations to variable, let's just say the lines represented by pair of linear equations in two variables a1x plus b1y plus c1 equals 0. See here, clearly what is saying? It's a line. They are called lines. They are called lines. Is that? So that's the reason why before I've explained to you that a generalized form of linear equation in two variables x and y actually represents a straight line. It actually represents a straight line. Now, let's talk about solution of pair of linear equations. Now, you know how to find a solution of linear equations in two variables. Just now we saw an example. How will you formulate it? Next, how will you find a solution? How will you find a solution? Obviously, you have been given two equations in x and y in two variables. You have to solve those two equations to get the solutions. Now, in this slide, we'll understand how the types of solutions of these equations looks like. So, to understand the types of linear equations, solutions of linear equations in two variable, I've explained the concept of what you call, consistent and inconsistent. That's the reason why I've explained this. Actually speaking, for you in your 9th standard, they'll directly explain this concept. What is that? Okay, two equations are given. Those two equations represents line. The solution of this equation, that means it will have a unique solution. What is a condition? It will have a infinite solution. What is a condition? It will have no solution. What is a condition? Actually, this is the concept you have. But what is the idea behind this concept? for you to understand, that is actually why we are calling it as, okay, this equation based on this condition will have a unique solution. This equation based on this condition will have a infinite solution. And this equation based on this condition will have a no solution. What is the reason? So actually speaking, in your 9th standard, this is what they will explain. How will you find, how will you check that a system of linear equations in two variables have unique solution, how they will have infinitely many solutions, how they will have no solution. But what I am trying to hear is, actually this is the concept you have in your 9th standard. The actual concept behind this particular concept is this. What I've explained now. Okay, system of linear equations. When you talk about system of linear equations, solutions of system of linear equations, your solutions of system of linear equations has been categorized into two types. One is called consistent, the other one is called inconsistent. What is consistent? How will you differentiate them? Very easy, very simple to understand. What is that? If system of linear equations have solutions, they are called consistent. If the system of linear equations have no solutions, they are inconsistent. When you talk about solutions, it can have a unique solution, means it will have only one solution. It can have two solutions. It can have three solutions. It can have infinitely many solutions. So here, basically, the understanding is it should have solutions. Okay, if system of linear equations have solutions, they are called consistent. If the system of linear equations have no solutions, they are called inconsistent. This is the first thing you need to understand. Second thing, what you need to understand, the concept what we are going to discuss is this. What is that? Okay, I've explained that ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. It's a linear equation in two variables. So what is this linear equation in two variables looks like? What exactly it is? It is called straight line. Actually, this equation ax plus by plus c equals 0 always represents straight line. Always represent straight line. Now, it represents straight line. That's what you have understood, right? So, come back to this.